So hello, everyone. I'm joined here today by a wonderful composer and friend of mine, David Serkin Ludwig, and an incredible playwright and poet, Ray Owens. And the three of us are here together to talk about a world premiere that was recently performed with my orchestra Symphony Tacoma and Symphony Tacoma Voices, called The Bleeding Pines. Ray, would you start by telling us about the story?
Yes, so I'm from the Sandhills region in the central part of North Carolina, and it is home to the world's oldest longleaf pines. Vast forest, 90 million acres, used to span the eastern seaboard, and now it's shrunk down to just, I think, about 3 to 5 million acres left. And so the oldest of these trees are the trees that I grew up playing around. These trees, I walk in these trees. I look out my yard, they're there every day. And so growing up, I always heard the story of an amazing woman named Helen Boyd Dull. And in 1904, she's the woman that came here and saved the trees. And then 3 generations of her family were the stewards of the trees, and then they turned them over, and now they're this vast park. And then she sparked conservation all through the South. So just a really amazing woman, and she really gave us our place, and it's a lovely place.
David, can you tell us about how you got connected with the story and Ray?
You know, I met with Ray down in Southern Pines, and we went to this extraordinary prehistoric forest area that he's writing about in the Bleeding Pines, by what will be soon Fort Liberty. And it was a life-changing experience for me. These
trees and this network within the forest is just extraordinary. And when I listen to the music, I can hear the emotion, of the trees and the feeling of the trees, not only with, of course, the wind that's going through it, but the fires that they would have natural forest fire, and this would keep the pines healthy. Is that right?
It is indeed. And what I was so amazed by, Sarah, when I heard you guys perform the full piece, it does sound like the forest. The sounds, all the various things that David composed into the piece, and that your symphony and the symphony voices were able to produce, anyone from here would recognize this as our forest.
Well, a lot of Ray's message, part of what makes it so vivid is the contrast of very challenging, sometimes even violent imagery with images of heaven and God and things that are holy and divine. And, so I really want to explore that and explore those contrasts in the music. There's a lot of influence from folk music that might have been heard in that part of the world in that time when the forest was saved. And there's a lot of kind of visual images that make its way into the sound. And, I really want to do justice to the words, which was no mean feat, because the words themselves are incredibly powerful. But for me as a composer, I just want to put a frame around Ray's message and Ray's poetry is a vehicle for that message of conservation, and also the power of one person to actually truly change the world and the echoes of that action over 100 years later.
We were actually going to premiere this with the choir and orchestra in 2020, and it was literally the week before that we had to cancel. During that time, I really found that the music kept on ringing through my ears. I get to feel more and more of this kind of folkloristic connections with the piece. You imagine you're being in the forest and almost like the spirits are coming out of the woodlands and out of the earth and out of the ground and then from the sky. And, like you say, it's just the words are spectacular, and the way that you've dressed the music around and within those words is, I think, the perfect match for this piece.
What an incredible performance it was, and what incredible commitment you had to our work. And Ray and I are really very grateful for it.